Hello, fiber friends. We are going to spin some tweed yarn today. I love a tweed yarn and I thought tweed would be perfect. It feels like a cozy yarn to me, like extra cozy somehow. And I think that could be because of the way it is meant to be spun, which is woolen. So it has a lot of loft and air in it, and those yarns tend to be a little squishier. And because of all that air trapped in it, they're a little more insulating, and so they can be very warm. So we have warm, cozy, speckled kind of yarn. That sounds great. Let's make some. I did a video a while ago where I made a vest, and I love that vest, but it's upstairs and I forgot to put it on. That's terrible. I should have put it on, but it's too late now because here we are. And I got into a little bit of the history of tweed fabric, but tweed yarn is confusing me because of course tweed yarn could be meant for tweed fabric, but we kind of have our own thing going on with tweed in the yarn spinning arena. So I looked and looked and looked to figure out where that connection happened, and I really couldn't find it definitively. So if any of you know, like with citation, the specific way that tweed yarn and tweed fabric intersect, I would love to hear all about it. But in the meantime, I'm looking at tweed yarn as a description of a yarn that has sort of dimensional color with speckles. Tweed yarn has nepps. Nepps, little wool, little neppy boogers. That's little balls of felted wool that comes off of mill equipment. When mill equipment is running, you know this if you have a drum carder, the fibers get kind of caught up on the sides of the equipment, and it kind of spins itself around and felts up into these little balls. And so that is what we would call nepps, wool nepps, and that can go in the yarn. I have some nepps and I have some yarn that I want to play around with. And so I'm going to get out my drum carder and I want to see if I can find a better way to get those nepps to stay in the yarn, because the ones I have are the ones that you can find easily commercially all over the place. So I think a lot of people have, maybe not the same color, but the same source. And I just think that it's difficult to get them to stay in the wool. I've done some projects with them and they were just like pew, pew, pew. It was very exciting. It was like little bits of wool shrapnel, I guess. And I was finding them under my spinning chair for like a year and a half. So I want to see if there's a way we can get them to stay in the yarn better. I think we can do it. So let's try. This is a mess. It'd be nice if someone cleaned this studio for me. No one's gonna do that. I think I want to play around in this basket of whatever. I think we could have some fun in here. This is just some stuff that I have for blending and mixing and playing around with. Actually, you know what? I don't want to use this because there's sparkle everywhere. I love sparkle, but I don't want sparkle at the moment. I'm gonna put this one back. Let's find something else to play with. So I was digging around in my stuff and I found this panel. Have you ever seen anything? I don't know, maybe you've seen this one. It's a little mouse, stuffed mouse who's supposed to be a sewing helper. Like she has a little pincushion and a little apron, and her apron has pockets. It's like a whole little project. I'm not doing this right now. I'm not getting sidetracked. I'm not. I have a little drawer thing that goes in my cube organizer, and I have one that I put projects I want to do, and if I still want to do it tomorrow, then I'll put it in my queue, but if I don't still want to do it tomorrow, then I put it back. So I'll just put this there. maybe I'll want to do it tomorrow. All right, I think I have some of those little neppy things in here. Ooh. Okay, I have all kinds of little bits of silk in here, so that might be good. And then I have all these different kinds of nepps. I didn't take you all downstairs to the basement with me because I didn't want you to be scared, but my stash is down there, and that's where I got this. So we have some Paca Puff, 100% baby alpaca, hand spinning top, 4 ounces of pure delight. I used this in my Ply article for the alpaca issue, so that's leftovers. That's leftovers, and it's not a full 4 ounces because I took a bunch out of there. Then I have this one from Big Dream Farm, alpaca mohair merino blend. I am pretty sure I didn't get this one while I was in this house, so it's a few years that I've had this one. This one is ancient. I think I got this one in like 2016, maybe? 2017? No, 2015. I've had this a while, like 10 years. This is Fin Sheep, and it's really soft. I did a project with it. This is leftover from that project, and I thought, you know what? It's time. It's time to bring it out and use it up. So what I have here are these 3 very kind of, I don't know, caramely brown tan kinds of fibers. So I think this is going to be great for the foundation of my tweed yarn because I'm going to start by blending all of these together, and it's going to give me that heathered look that I want. I pulled out some silk as well and my weird little neppy things. This is the silk I have. Isn't that pretty? Like, isn't that just, that's stunning. These are the nepps I'm talking about. They do have some fuzz because they stick together in this little glob of dyed pink. I also have these that I got in like a blending kit, but this doesn't feel, this has a different kind of feel to it. What do we think this is? Is this wool? It doesn't feel like wool. I'm gonna have to do a burn test on this one. It feels like cotton to me. These are all the colors I have. What do I want to put with my brown? I think the point of the tweed is to have the pops of color in the nepps, like in the tweed bits. What am I stepping on? Ugh, stuff's falling down. Okay, so I think we want to have a pop of color, and I need to decide which one. You know what? I just decided. This is the one it needs to be because I think this is the one to go with all those lovely browns. That's what I think. You know what? The silk matches really well. This is literally a pinch. Now it's literally a pinch. So these are the fun bits. I'm gonna put these aside for the moment. Welcome to the carding table. Let's get these things out. This is a question I get a lot, which is how do I make sure that it's blending equally? And I don't want to end up with like, you know, a big ball of this at the end of the carding. You know, I want to make sure that everything is getting added onto the drum so that I get some of each in the bats. So I'm going to unroll this. This is do at your own risk because it is a pencil roving. It's a very, well, no, it broke. Yeah, it's easy to break. I just kind of loosely tied it back together. Now I'm going to go where I line this up, and now I'm going to pull those both through so I can find the center. You can measure these, and typically I would because I know that my drum card holds 2 ounces, and if I have like 10 ounces of fiber, I know I'll have 5 bats to spin. So this way I am just going to divide it down and divide it down. There we go. So there's 4 of those. Those are all equal. The alpaca, which is a much thicker kind of comb top situation. So I'm going to pretend that that's connected, and I'll just hold it together. Split that one right here. Oh dear, which side? Ah, that can go together, and then this can go together. So now I've got those into 4 piles, and then I can take the rest of this and kind of divide it out into 4 piles. If you end up with all your stuff blended up and it's like so clear that something got more than something else because it's like visually obvious or something, you can tear apart your bats and then kind of mix and match them while you're spinning. So you take a little from one bat and a little from another, and you know, etc. And so that can like split up if there's sections that seem a little more of one color than another. So anyway, there we go. I'm gonna take my little pile here and I am going to divide it down one more time because I wanna make sure it's layered, because that's gonna be easier to blend it all up if it's a little bit more layered. I'll put down the alpaca first. And then I'll put down some of this mohair blend thing stuff. And then I'm gonna put some of this in there. That's opening up okay. I found the green glitter. You can go over there, Mr. Green Glitter. Do that sandwich again. Open these up a little bit, make sure there's nothing in there that actually has twist in it, because we all know how twist works. I combed this at some point and I made these lovely little nests of rove that I combed, and here I am just running it through a carder, but that's okay. It was the right thing at the time that I had it, and now I want to do something different, and it's okay to do something different. It's fine. Oh, it's so soft though. Oh my gosh. Ooh, that's so lovely. Friends, this is gorgeous. This is beautiful. It's squishy and soft and luscious, and it's beautiful. I'm gonna put it through again because, as you can see, looking sideways, it's not very blended, and I do want it to be more blended. I can't wait to put my little pops of blue in there. When I have stuff that's like long and wrapped on there and it's hard to get off, I just like take littler bits, and then it takes a minute, but I don't feel like I'm ripping anything. Okay, this is much, much, much more blended. But I also don't want to overcard it. So I think now is the time to put in the nepps and assume that this will also still blend a little more. Boop, boop, and boop. It's not perfectly equal, but that's okay. That's okay. All right, and then we're gonna go like that. Okay. Those are my piles. There's one thing I know for sure, and that is that I don't want to put these directly down first, because they will get stuck down in the tines of the drum, and it's a pain in the tuchus to get them out. I'm gonna split these up. I'm gonna put down one so it's more like a foundation for everything else to kind of sit on, so that it doesn't get stuck down in the tines. Now, I think I am gonna skip the liquor in because it's just gonna catch all of this on there. So I am gonna put a little bit of this like straight onto the bigger drum. Really want them to kind of spread out. Now, I don't want to keep going around and around because it's just gonna pull stuff off of the top of there like it's already doing. So I'm gonna get my next one in there to secure everything down. And I think something people get afraid of is, I think people are afraid that if they have their little bits down inside of it, that it's gonna get buried and lost and you'll never see it again. And so they want everything on top when they pull the bat. But I think in this case, it's gonna be better to have those little nepps down, because the nepps are gonna work their way out to be visible when I'm spinning. And I don't think they'll be lost forever. I think they will make themselves known, because that's sort of the nature of this type of material, isn't it? Okay, so that last little bit over the top really locked those nepps down in there. I'm happy with that amount. I don't feel like I'm wasting them or doing something fruitless because it's all ending up here. This is gonna be so fun to spin. Ooh, it's gonna be so fun to spin. You can see the little streaks in there. It's still in there. It's a little bit like this was on the bottom, so that was our sort of floor foundation that we put. But yeah, like it's gonna be a subtle experience. There, look at that. Isn't that pretty though? I think this is really pretty. I think this is gonna be beautiful. But I have 3 more to do, and so I'm gonna go do that, and then I'll see you at the wheel. I know that I say every yarn I spin is my favorite yarn, but this one, it's above and beyond. It takes the cake. It is so soft. It is so fluffy. It's just like the twist angle from the ply makes me feel happy looking at it. It's like just such a beautiful, pleasant yarn. And I love the little pops of blue. It's like not too much, but it's enough to really have a visual striking effect. This yarn came out to about 5 ounces, and it has about 280 yards. I would definitely call it a heavy worsted, if not bulky, and I think it's stunning. I'm not sure what I want to do with this yarn, so you'll have to give me some ideas. I was thinking maybe a cowl or part of a shawl. It's so lovely, and I love especially the halo from the mohair coming through there. I was really hoping that the mohair would kind of hold some of those nepps in the yarn, but a lot of them came flying out while I was spinning, and then the rest mostly fell out while I was plying. The tiniest ones kind of stuck in there, and I think the mohair helped a little bit to grab some, but I am still looking for a solution for the nepps. I might try some different approaches. Maybe I'll run it through some sandpaper, like to fluff it up more. I'm not sure if that would work. Maybe I'll cut them a little bit to make them smaller so that they can integrate better. I'm not sure. So if you have ideas or if you have a successful tip, please let me know and I'll try it out in the future. So here is the announcement. I want to have more community involvement with Jilly and Eve because I know there are so many of you out there spinning incredible yarns, and not everybody can be a part of the Patreon right now. If you can, that's great, that's wonderful, I appreciate you. But I had this idea. In the past, when people would get together to spin yarn, they would call it a spinning frolic. Think of it similar to a quilting bee. I am going to make a monthly spinning frolic video. I will have some type of yarn that I'll show you my process. I will spin it up, and then if you are inspired to do a similar yarn, you are welcome to take a picture of your yarn and submit it through a Google submission form that I have in the video description. Next month, when I do our next Spinning Frolic, I am going to have a little musical montage, and I will show all of the pictures that I receive from the previous month's inspired yarn. I'd like to keep it going by month, so like I'm not gonna put a tweed yarn in the montage for like December. So it will keep us moving. If you can't do it each time, that's totally fine. If you don't have the equipment to do it exactly the way I did, that's totally fine. As long as you can defend yourself that yes, this was inspired and here's how, you're good to go. So I am really looking forward to seeing any of your Spinning Frolic pictures and to see how this kind of takes off with the Jillian Eve channel. I think it's gonna be a great way that we can build a little community and so that I can highlight some of your work, because I get tired of looking at my own stuff sometimes. So I will be looking forward to that, and the link is down in the description below. And there's one other quick announcement. I have started a second channel. It's called Evie Unraveling, and that's where I'm going to put more of my video essays, history deep dives, sort of those bigger topics that are not specifically related to spinning, but they are generally related to textiles. I published my first video over there. If you didn't see it, it is a response to the SciShow knitting video that if you are a chronically online person, you probably already know that video is terrible. And so I took their script and I rewrote it with their own research, and I remade their video. And I had a lot of fun doing it, and it really felt like a place where I could speak up for the community in a loud and creative way. And that was kind of cathartic for me, because I think we all need places where we can speak up right now, but I also know that sometimes we need to just shut off the world and have a place to really recoup and take care of our mental health, and spinning is that for so many people, including myself. So I'm going to have Jillian Eve still going with the tutorials, with our Spinning Frolic new series, and keep the very spinning focused, the very niche spinning stuff here on Jillian Eve. So I hope you'll check out my new channel. I'll put a little thing so you can subscribe or find the channel or whatever. It'll pop up somewhere. And with all that said, happy spinning, fiber friends.